I'm going to be honest with you. It feels like most of us are on autopilot. You wake up, you reach for your phone, you scroll a bit, you get that first dopamine hit before you've even really gotten out of bed. And the day just kind of takes you and you react to what's in front of you. You answer the texts, you go to the meetings, you reply to the emails, and you get through it. But somewhere in there, brushing your teeth, walking down the hallway, standing in the kitchen, you feel that something, that quiet, sort of subtle discomfort, like this can't be it. And it's not dramatic, nothing's falling apart, but something really feels off. And maybe you feel disconnected or disengaged, like you're just floating through a life that doesn't totally feel like yours. And I think that's survival mode, and a lot of us live there. And this is something that you can't hustle your way through. You don't get out of it by grinding harder or forcing discipline on yourself. It starts really with a pause, with a breath, with bringing awareness, and just asking, like, what's actually going on inside of me right now? And not to overthink it and not to fix it, but just really to name it. Because what's stopping you isn't a lack of motivation. It's the fact that you've never taken 5 seconds to actually admit what you're feeling. And maybe it's fear-based, maybe it's shame, and maybe you're just really tired, like really tired. And no one knows what's going on. And that's the truth that most people avoid. But once you really start to notice what's real, you have a choice, and then everything starts to change. And I believe that's where intention comes in, right? It's not a goal, it's not a New Year's resolution. It's really a quiet commitment to yourself and to the kind of person that you want to be today, to the kind of life you're actually trying to build, not the one that you're performing for everyone else in your life. And it can be simple, like, today I'm not going to betray my boundaries. Today, I'm going to move my body because it deserves to be cared for. Today, I'm going to face the thing I've been avoiding because I respect myself. And when you choose something with intention, your actions start to line up, and you don't need to crush your whole to-do list. You just need to act in a way that feels honest and true to you. And that, that over time is what builds momentum. And that's not a hack, it's not magic, it's just being consistent. It's showing up again and again with just a little more awareness, with a little more intention, with a little more courage than you had yesterday, just trying to be 1% better. And I believe that's how we all get unstuck. And that's how you build a life that actually feels like it's yours, and a life where you're not just on the hamster wheel. And I believe that this is such an important piece to really digest and have an inquiry with in yourself, is that things don't need to be monumental. They don't need to be a massive shift. It's starting with when you don't know what to do, when you feel stuck, when you feel like things are out of control, to just take a breath and tune into yourself and ask yourself, what do I need right now? What is important for me? What do I want to create? What do I want to build in my life? And I think when we start with awareness and we start with being present, it allows us to actually feel into and truly know what is important for us. And it's that initial voice, it's that initial thought where you ask yourself in a calm demeanor, what is important to me, or what is it that I need? The response that you get from that is going to be soft, and it's going to be coming from your true self. And I think we've all done that before. But we have to delineate the voice that comes after, that, hey, that's all well and good, but that's not going to move the needle forward, right? You know, maybe what you need to do is spend some time with your loved ones or your friends or your family, but then there's that voice like, is that actually going to do anything? Like, is that effort really going to build what I need? Or, you know, that, you know, maybe you're trying to get healthy, and what do I need right now? Well, I need to go for a walk. But then there's that voice, well, you don't have to go for a walk. You know, we can do something that's going to be more, you know, satisfying, that's going to give us a rush in the immediate short term. But it's the delineation of the voice that comes after your true self has answered your inquiry into what is it that's important, what do I need to prioritize. That's what we need to, you know, just say, hey, thank you, but I understand what I need to do. I understand what's important. And that's the process of change and transformation, is where we really start to tap into that and listen to ourselves. And so, you know, that's what I try to do in my life, in my day, is, you know, just bring awareness to every moment that I can, especially if I'm feeling lost, or if my direction has, you know, ceased to have momentum. It's tapping in, starting with awareness. What is it that I need right now? What is it, what's important, right? Taking that time to digest that response, and then set an intention, whether it's who you need to be or what you know, what actions are going to, you know, move you forward. And then once we have come from that place of awareness and intentionality, then we can move into right action around what we actually want to do. And we don't have to listen to those voices that are saying, you know, you don't need to do that, or, you know, hey, like, let's distract ourselves with A, B, or C. We get focused, and what you'll find is when you listen to that voice, when you listen to that true voice that comes with honest inquiry, and you put right action towards whatever it is that came out in that moment, when you do that, when you actually take the action that yourself, you know, that you want to do, you'll notice a wonderful sense of accomplishment, and like you've moved forward in your life. And that's the momentum. That's what we want to build upon. And it's just the small wins, right? It's just 1% or 0.02% better than you were yesterday. And that's how we start to create beautiful things in this world. So in the process of change and transformation, this is what helps me on my day-to-day. Anyways, talk to you soon.